welcome back. And I want now to introduce those two young artists, and it's a privilege to have them here with us. Zoe Kushubar is here, and she is the violinist, and our cellist is Xavier Westergaard.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, tell me, I don't usually ask somebody's age when they're sitting here with me, but tell me where you're from and how old you are.
I am from Campobello, South Carolina, which is in Spartanburg County. I am 15 years old, and I am in the 10th grade.
Okay, and what about you, Xavier?
I am from Beaufort, South Carolina. I'm a junior, and I'm 16.
Okay, okay. And what do you plan? You're obviously very dedicated to what you do, and have you planned a future in the arts? Is that what you want to do? Both of you.
Yes, definitely.
My goal right now, I went to double major at Northwestern University, hopefully. Cello performance and maybe pre-law.
Okay, so you have some high goals there.
Yes, ma'am.
And how would you assume that they would go together?
Well, one of the things that our school, the governor's school, teaches you is how to balance a rigorous academic curriculum as well as a rigorous musical practice curriculum. So a lot of people are scared by the idea of maybe double majoring in music and then an academic subject because you have studying and then you have practicing on top of that. But our school really teaches us how to time manage, so it really seems like more of a pursuing your dreams rather than trying to balance your stress levels, if that makes any sense.
Good idea. Yeah. And what about you?
Well, I maybe want to go to somewhere in Ohio, like Oberlin or the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, to probably major in either music performance or education, because I would not mind becoming a music teacher and maybe performing on the side. Or if that does not work, I might want a minor in chemistry or math as well, because I like the subjects. And I don't know, because math I think ties into music in some way, because there's a lot of counting and rhythmic stuff that you have to incorporate in music. And also for theory classes, you need to kind of have a basic math skills so you can understand everything, different intervals, because you have to count some things. And
So
I think
they do go together in a way.
Yes, chemistry not as much, but it does involve math. So
you think you might want to teach someday as well?
Yes, because I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to see how people grow through instruments and giving advice. I don't know, I like giving advice. And also my brother's a violinist.
Oh, really?
And so I sometimes give him some tips and stuff, and it just makes me feel good, just to try and help people out. And I don't know, just the thought of teaching sounds kind of fun.
I'm sure you have a bright future, both of you. Have you thought about actually playing in a symphony orchestra? I mean, you look like you're ready to go on stage right now. You look so nice.
Thank you. I have played I played at the symphony orchestra as well as the youth orchestra back at my hometown.
Yeah.
But that's a community orchestra, and it's a very good community orchestra. But eventually, hopefully one day, I want to play in a major symphony orchestra, maybe the Chicago Symphony, Chicago.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Do you have a favorite composer?
Oh, goodness. That's a very tough question, because there are so many different types of composers composing different types of music. But classically wise, I do like Fritz Kreisler a lot. And one of his pieces, Preludium and Allegro. That piece, I love it so much. And also, I'm trying to think. I also like Camille Saint-Saëns, because I'm playing a piece of his right now, and it's just so fun to learn. And I'm probably will be learning a concerto of his in a little while.
Now you started playing the violin at 5 years of age.
Yes, 5 years old. When I used to Irish step dance, and so that was a lot of fiddle music. And I was like, whoa, what's this instrument? Can I try this out? And my dad was like, is she serious? And so, but then eventually I kept saying, can I try the violin? And I eventually went to the Suzuki method and learned by ear, because it often is concentrated on learning.
For the little children.
Yes, and I was about 5, and I started with a little cardboard violin, and then eventually got my own, and I started playing, and I just haven't stopped since. I love it so much. Music is a big part of me.
Well, I would imagine it would be.
Yes.
Yeah. But definitely. You still have to balance, because you have to have math and language, all the things that everybody else has to.
Oh yeah, you really have to learn how to time manage at governor's school, because the academics are pretty rigorous too.
And then you have to set aside those times to practice, because you have to keep your standards up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
What about you?
Wait, what's the question? I'm sorry.
How long, I mean, how long have you played the cello?
I started playing the cello when I was 12 years old. When I was 9, my parents bought me a guitar, which kind of set like a precedent, like a love for music. But then when I was 12, I kind of wanted to adopt like a more classical mindset. So I started playing the cello and never looked back.
And that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite composer?
My favorite composer, it's a tie, and this is a big contrast between a man named Johann Sebastian Bach, who's one of the most,
I think he'd pass anybody's.
Yes. But his music is profound. But another person who I really like is a man named Sergei Prokofiev. He's a Russian composer from the 20th century, and his music is just, it encompasses the world. It's
so
just
you could say
phenomenal.
It's extreme.
Yes.
From Bach to Prokofiev.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got the whole ball game right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I think I'm so thrilled to meet you both, and you are two people of many talented young people at the Governor's School.
Yes, ma'am.
And how difficult was it to get accepted and all the, the auditions and all that?
Well, it was.
Wasn't it a little bit scary?
It was a little
Yes.
stressful trying to fill out it was a pretty big application, and for music students, you have to fill out a whole repertoire sheet listing all the music you've played in your whole career. And so that was a little tedious, but eventually it got finished, and trying to prepare the music, trying to make it sound like as good as I can get it, and to play the best I can without getting too nervous in the audition, because I do have an issue with like stage fright and nerves sometimes.
That's normal.
Yeah, and sometimes that might affect my playing, but I just try to take a few deep breaths and then just go for it. And in the audition, I just played the best I could.
What about you, Xavier?
Applying to the Governor's School, it's a phenomenal privilege, and you are going up against the musical talent, in my case, music, of the state.
Of the state,
And South Carolina is a big state, and we have a lot of musical talent in our state. So you kind of get this, very competitive mindset. So you stay up late practicing sometimes before your audition. What I did is I played in front of my parents almost every night after I practiced. So
they were your critics.
Yes, they were my critics. And that kind of allowed me to get an audition experience, because it's a little nerve-wracking playing in front of your parents.
You came from other places. I mean, Greenville was not home.
No.
And you actually live at the Governor's School.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have, they must have some, not only high standards, but rules and regulations, because in a way they are responsible.
Yes, ma'am.
And while you look very mature and all that, you're still kids.
Oh, definitely.
And so how hard is that? Do they tell you have to be in your room by a certain time and all this kind of thing?
Yeah.
They can't have people wandering around at midnight.
True. Well, most of the rules, they're not there to hurt us. They're meant to help us.
That's right.
They want to make sure we're getting adequate amounts of sleep, because we are teenagers. We do like to stay up late. And just personal safety. So we're supposed to be in our dorms at 10 o'clock, and we're supposed to be on our floors at 10:30, and then I think in our rooms at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that kind of ensures that we're safe. You don't want to be wandering around outside at night. And we're also supposed to be. We're actually allowed to go off campus on the main street in Greenville, which is it's a fantastic it's a fantastic place.
It's a good experience.
And we're allowed to go to Starbucks and all these other restaurants, but they want us back before 9 o'clock.
And you have to be accounted for. In other
Yes.
words.
Yes.
Yes.
However, for sophomores, there are some disadvantages because you're younger. Going downtown is a different story. You have to be back by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And also, usually, if you're junior or senior, you can go in groups of 2.
That's
For a sophomore, you need to have at least 2 other people going with you.
And that's just good common sense for anybody.
Yeah, it is safe and you can always count on the school also. If you feel a little nervous around or feel like you're in a sketchy environment, you can always you're in a group with people, which is safe. And also you can always let the Governor's School know where you are and they can come and get you. It's a very safe environment.
So the faculty there is very committed as well. And,
Yes.
And do you have, obviously they are responsible for your well-being.
Yes.
Yes.
Not only to be educated, but day-by-day safety.
Right.
And do you have people there who, not only the faculty, but, like house parents, or how does that work?
We have, obviously we have faculty, full academic faculty, as well as a full artistic faculty. And then on each floor, we have these things called RLCs, which are residential life coordinators.
Okay.
And these are, there are 10 overall, 10 or
Okay.
12. and there's one on each floor, and they check you in at night. They make sure that you're doing well. They check up with your grades. You know, if you if your grades drop, they say, you know, might want to bring that up. I get a little, but and they also coordinate all of our outside school activities, such as like they actually take us to Chick-fil-A once a month, and just these, you know, outside excursions to kind of let us cool down after a hard academic
And you've
day.
made friends from
Yes,
other places?
absolutely.
Oh, yes. I've made like so many friends. Like I'm actually around people who are like me because at my old school, it just didn't seem like as fitting for me. I felt like a little different from everybody else. But here, like you just meet so many people that are like you, and you meet people outside your art area, which is also really cool because you're exposed to different activities and seeing what other people do. And it's just like a really great experience, and like it really helps you grow as a person, not only as a person in your art area, but as a person, because you meet so many different people, and they're it's such a supportive and caring environment. I'm so happy I went there. It's a really great experience.
Me too.
Well, we are grateful for all those young people and for the talent you shared with us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you so much.
And we just say Godspeed, and you go right forward, and we'll all be cheering you on.
Thank you.
And someday
Thank you so much.
we'll know that you have succeeded, and we're proud of you. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Yes, ma'am.
And wherever you are, we have many talented, gifted young people in all areas throughout our state, and we need to be mindful that they need our support every day. Wherever you are, if you have little children at home, pick them up and read to them. It all begins there. We'll see you next time.